Okay, welcome to Barrel Brothers. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the Sunny truck. You guys know we have this setup here, and the idea was always to put this on with a Haltech and the extractors and get it all going on the A12 first off, and then later on down the track do the A15. So in the meantime, while I was sort of asking about and not doing much with this, Richard from Haltech kind of kicked it off a little bit more by, he got us on blower and he said we would like a set of wheels for our R31 that we were building, and I went, yeah, okay. Benny was helping quite a bit with that one, so I asked him what the story with it is, and he sort of told me what size wheels that we want for it. So I had a bit of a look through what we had here and came up with a set of BBS RSs that we did in gold, and I think 7.5 on the front and 9 on the rear from memory. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, it's a nice set of wheels. The flip side is they wanted them built quick, so we didn't have really time to. Well, they had a time frame for them. We needed to do them fast, which we did. We can do that a bit with RSs, and he said, "Look, would you like some Haltech stuff instead of cash?" And I immediately thought of Monsieur Sunny truck here. And I went, yeah, how about, and well, we didn't really haggle, I just asked for stuff and Richard went, yes. Which was great. So the deal was a set of wheels, and Haltech would supply a Haltech ECU, and they would, via wires by Dave can wire the whole thing up, and then Scotty can fold himself into it. Mind you, he's folded himself into Moog's Mini and Benny's K-Truck, so he should be able to fold himself into the 1200 all right. So, yeah, and do a tune. So, the first plan was to run the Haltech just off the Patronics and have it dizzy with leads and that sort of stuff. And then we were talking to Dave about it and having a bit of a look, and he said, yeah, maybe we can do this and we can do that. And I thought, well, it'd be a damn sight easier if we just had a CAS. So I got onto Timmy Heidblom up north, and he's built me one, which is in this here little box. And he's like half the problem that we had here. So he's built me this for an A series. How good's that? So there's my CAS. So we're going to run some coils and all that sort of guff, which is great. So we've got the CAS now back in the box so I don't drop it on the floor and bugger it. We'll run the CAS. So then, he said, look, what are you actually going to do with it? And I said, oh, we'll do this, and I said, look, the only real problem that we've got is getting a kick, because it's air conditioned, is getting a kick up for the idle, doing like that. So, and he said, well, why don't you put an e-throttle on it? And I said, well, I want the Dorts, I want quad throttles. Probably 5 minutes later, he sends me an eBay listing for some bike throttles that are ride-by-wire. And then it started. So I started some fairly hefty research into bike throttles and e-throttles, and that culminated in, pushes quad throttles aside, these guys. Okay, so what are these? These are Yamaha, these are 2009 Yamaha R6 quad throttles. All right, so I had a bit of drama. I had to do a fair bit of research because all the records I went to kept telling me that they are still cable, because they were looking at this going, it's cable, it's a cable. But once I did the research, watch this, right? Here's my cable throttle. That's idle. That's full throttle. Do you notice something? Yeah, I can't see through it either. That's the beauty of it. So why does it still have cables and whatnot? Okay, so the reason that they do that is the throttle on the bike, they can put all the sensoring up there, but there's basically two reasons they have troubles, because it's there in the weather. You know, you can put it behind a fairing or what, but generally it's there, it's right up the front of the bike, and they have a little bit of trouble weatherproofing it, whereas this is down underneath the bike, and it's got side covers, it's got a tank, and it's got all seats, and there's all sorts of stuff sort of, they can you know, do the electronics. And the other thing is, up on the twist grip, they can't get the feel that a throttle has, like with the springs here. So, which turns out as a bit of a bonus if you're putting them on a car, because now I can just run my standard pedal set and the cable goes over to this guy here, and away it goes. So how that works is, well, getting back to the pedal, I don't have to go and find an electronic pedal out of a Subaru or whatever, so I'll still have my, you know, it'll all look of a period, if you know what I mean. I won't have two pedals and some plasticky thing that's out of a obviously later model. I'll just have the standard stuff inside the cab, which is perfect, which is exactly the theme I'm going for. So what do we have here? Now the beauty of this is, so that there runs off to the ECU, which runs back to this guy here and tells that how to open the throttles. There's your TPS, your air sensor and vac and everything is all here. It's got everything in one package. Isn't that great? So, and the kicker is, we can put cruise control on it. I like the idea of a little Datsun 1200 with cruise control. That just dovetails with my, you know, stupid expectations. But like, everything's there. You can see it. It's all there. So I went back to Richard at Haltech, and I said, look, I bounced all this off Benny first, and he said, yeah, like, we're going to have to build a different manifold because of the spacing. These are 75 apart, those two and those two, but that's 96, and these are 75 right across the board. So this guy here isn't going to fit. And I said, well, you know, we'd just modify this one. He said, look, we'll just start again. So this guy is, after I bought all this stuff, as it turns out, I'm going to use none of it. There'll be somebody out there that will want this, no doubt. It came off an A15. It's already ported for the heads. We're gonna put it. It's going to go on an A15 too. So he said, Ben said he's quite happy to do all of that. So I went back to Richard and I said, we've had a bit of a change of plans. If I sling you a few extra dollars, can I upgrade my ECU and wiring that I was going to get? And I explained like what we had and what the plan was, and he was very quickly back to us and said, mate, yeah, absolutely, you can do that, and it will cost you the sum of $0. Can we put it on the Haltech channel? And basically they're interested the same as me. You know, if we're taking a bog standard little A12 engine with a standard carby on it and a standard log manifold, and we've got a little bit of an exhaust on it, but basically it's bog standard. That's it. We've got electronic ignition on it and nothing else. It's as it was. So we're going to go to a fly-by-wire fuel-injected quad throttled setup. So it's with extractors, so it's going to breathe a damn sight better than it used to. And the interesting part here is going to be the the power and the drivability is what I'm really interested in, and it turns out so is Haltech. You know, what can be achieved with a little, you know, engine that was designed in the, well, it was designed in the 50s, I think, originally by Morris or Austin or somebody or other. I think it's a Morris. Anyway, yeah, originally designed by that, then it was sort of license built by Nissan, and then they sort of gave it to the Prince guys who tickled it up, and that's where, this is why you can get an A12 engine, standard A12 engine, and rev it to around 8 grand, and it's quite happy to do so because the Prince guys really knew what they were doing. So they're a great little engine, and we are going to make it breathe. So the question is, A, how much power has it got now? So at some stage we're going to have to take it over to Haltech's dyno, put it on there. I have 34 rear wheel kilowatts with the air conditioning off, and about 26 with the air conditioning on in the pool. So leave your comments. I've driven it, so I know how much power it doesn't have. It's not a powerful car. You've got to turn the air conditioning off to get up hills, but or away from the lights quick. But it's, you know, having said that, it's got the best air conditioning of any car I've ever owned, because it's got that tiny little cabin. It's just, it keeps you really cool. And yeah, Haltech's going to we'll stick it on there, and then we'll go away. It'll go down to Ben's. I'll have to put the head on the A15, and we'll put the extractors on there and just bolt them on, and I'll chuck them in the truck and take them down to Ben and hand them all over and say, here you are, sir. And he's going to build us a manifold. He said we can't use that one, so we'll build a manifold there, come up with some sort of a, I think, like if we want to do shows, like with the XR75 in the back, we'd just have some trumpets hanging off them, but I do like my air filtered, so it would be nice to have some air filters there of some sort, or if we come up with some sort of a, I don't know, but anyway, we'll work something out. See what Ben comes up with. You know, he might just end up with some socks there or something, I don't know. That's up to Ben at this stage of the game. We can always look at doing, you know, once it's back here, get Matty on to, you know, to see if we can sort something out with his welding skills, and, you know, maybe make up a bit of a manifold to a panel filter or something or other in behind a headlight or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's by the by. That's down the track. So that's where we are now. Having drive-by-wire throttles means we can also do other stuff, and the thought there is cruise control. That cruise control is just, this is going to be wild. You know, and basically talking to Miles, he's said that, look, it's just switches. So if we can maybe 3D print something like the standard surround that goes around the column, but it incorporates another switch. Maybe we can get the switch like the original one, and, you know, with a button on the end that can be either on and off. Actually, a Toyota system, it works remarkably like that. It's on and off at the end, and then, yeah, resume and up and set, and look, yeah, we could do it like that, on and off. That'd work. I'm just thinking out loud here. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this. I've got to put the stuff together, and I've got to get it to Ben. That's my next. I haven't even told him that well, the fuel tank's going to be ready in about 2 weeks. So that's what we've got to do, and that's what we've got to do. So, sunny truck efficiency, ho. Anyway, I've talked at you enough for one. I've given you enough of VE bashing for one day. Thanks for watching. You'll be able to see this on, this will be on the Haltech channel. The only bit I get to do is basically handing stuff over and standing back and applauding. Imagine the doors. It's going to be great. It's so humid here today, you have no idea. And because I've got to turn the air conditioning and fan off to film, I'm dying. But yeah, stays cold, worth the money. Something I forgot to tell you about in that nearly 15-minute ramble was the fuel tank. Okay, so the fuel tank, we've been waiting for this. This has been one of the things we've been waiting for to kick off the project, because we need to, with a fuel injection, we need a fuel pump. I want an in-tank fuel pump because, you know, we want it civilised. Keep saying that, we want it civilised. Cruise control. civilised with cruise control and air conditioning and everything. Electric windows next, you watch. Anyway, the fuel tank, we're getting that off Mad Dat. So I ordered that a couple of months ago, and he said it won't be ready till sort of late February, and here it is, February 22, and he's just got in touch with me and said it's going to be ready in about 2 weeks. So we need to get this up and running. But what the deal was, I got onto him as, like, the fuel tank that he does, the standard fuel tank in him is, well, it feels like about 12 litre. I think it's 32 or something. It's pretty small. It doesn't give you a great deal of range. It's not, and that's the other thing, like the Sunny's not particularly efficient with this carby, so I think with this it will be. But the new tank is, or the tank that they do, the beauty of it, because I looked at modifying the one that we've got and doing this and doing that, the Mad Dat one is a no-brainer. It's 45 litres straight off the bat. It's got the fuel pump and everything all set up. It's got the filler neck, it just bolts in, you know, and it's bigger, and it's got the fuel level sender. It's calibrated to the original fuel gauge on the dash, like bolt it and plug it in, away you go. We're putting a bit smaller fuel pump in it because basically we've got an A12 or an A15. It's never going to be, I mean, they're set up as most people do, put a CA18 in it or an SR20, which uses quite a bit more fuel, of course. You're generally not standard engines, they got bigger turbos and whatnot. We're going a little and old school. Old school. Fly-by-wire throttles, old school, yeah, great. Anyway, we've got our little motors, and I just, look, to tell you the truth, the reason that I like the A series is because they sound great. They really sound good. And it's going to sound even better with these naughty buggers on there. But anyway, I got on to him. I said, you know, look, I want one of your fuel tanks. Thank you. I'll put down a deposit. How long is it going to take? He said, look, it's not going to be ready till February 2022. Here it is, February 2022. And then he started extolling the virtues. You know, he told me it was bigger, and he told me it was this, and it had the fuel gauge and everything. And he said, and it's all laser cut, and then they weld it together. And I said, send it to me as a flat pack, because, you know, this is what we do here. We're welding up aluminium all day, every day. You know, he could become the IKEA of fuel tanks. But understandably, he said, no, Mark, we're not going to do that. So, but that's going to be ready in about 2 weeks. So we need to get this stuff down to Ben, and we need to get it kicked off. I haven't even warned Ben about this at this stage of the game. I'm about to like ring him up, and about as soon as the camera turns off, and away we go. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Either it might be BCW, it might be Haltech, I don't know. It'll be something. But yeah, there's more episodes of this to come. Don't worry.